system. So during 90s and 80s, we have lost that bus because our young youth could not catch it because of our approaches. The technology will replace employment, our computer will replace the youngsters' employment. Like that, the kind of narrative we have developed, and we stopped some kind of, we showed some kind of hesitancy in adopting the technology. But it is a time for Indian youth to lead AI throughout the world. So, the second part of the book talks about the want to discuss much about the cultural economy because already Sri Sandeep Singh ji has narrated. But I want to bring two important issues. I have conducted some kind of survey, the primary survey in Telangana temples, Basara, Saraswati temple, Vemlawada Rajarajeshwara Swami temple, Yadadri temple. So in all these temples, our observations, I along with my students have conducted survey in these three temples. Another two temples we are going to conduct in Bhadrachalam as well as in Chulukuru Balaji Swami temple. How temples play an important role in economic boosting. Whenever a person's income increases, the marginal propensity to consume, the consumption index, how it increases. So whenever a person goes to temple, he is not only spending from his pocket, he is part of culture, part of dharma, and making somebody to become live. Somebody's entrepreneurship become live. So X expenditure becomes Y income in economics. In the same way, here culture is integrated. And that's the reason through culture, through dharma, our economy is being sustained, our economy is being vibrant situation throughout the years from the ancient time. And when I had the interaction with one of the 10th class failed person in Vemlawada, he is multi-level skilled person. Of course, he was failed in 10th class. He was putting tikka to me whenever you go to Tirumala Darshan. Immediately after coming back from the Darshan, somebody will come and put tikka. 3 namas. So if you ask that person how much you earn in a day, he will tell. In the same way, I asked one person in Vemlawada who put tikka. Then he told me that through tikka, I earn minimum 1200 rupees in a day. Will you demand anybody? No, I will not demand anybody. Everybody will give me out of respect or out of voluntary. Means it is not priced. It is out of devotion. That is what dharma. So dharma has many forms. So in each situation, dharma has its own form. You cannot define dharma. What is dharma? So every time, for every person, for every situation, dharma situation changes. So here, when a person put tikka out of emotion or out of karuna, you will give some kind of money, and through that kind of money, a single person's earning per day is 1200 rupees. 10th class fail person. And I asked, what else you do along with this? Then he took me to his store, where he has just 4x4 one wheel, what you call pull-up cart. So in that cart, he made some rings, some bronze items, different items, which are again you can use for the dharmic activities or cultural activities, or you can use for your ring or bracelet kind of thing. Nothing is waste. I asked who manufactured this. He said, I, myself and my wife. We both do. So how much you earn from this? I not only sell this through my pull-up cart, I also give somebody else as a manufacturer. So per month I earn 60,000 rupees through these bronze items. Means a 10th class failed person per month he is earning more than 70,000 rupees just beside the temple. If somebody asks me how much employment is created to temple, I can say a small temple like Rajaraja Swami temple in Vemlavada. The Vemlavada temple alone is giving livelihood indirectly more than 3,000 families. So if you want to discuss about the caste, religion, everybody is there, including Muslims. Muslims are running their stores by having puja material. So my request, those who ask how much economy is being created, how much employment is being created to temple, you just take them to Vemlavada temple. Let them observe. So a small temple in Vemlavada gives more than 3,000 families livelihood. So 3,000 families means you can multiply with 4 persons. 12,000 people just because of temple city, Vemlavada is getting livelihood. And not only this 12,000 people who are putting stalls, or 3,000 families who are putting stalls, there are autos, there are cars, there are hotels, there are persons who who gives rent rooms during the peak season of the darshan. So if you compile entire economic system of a small temple, you will come to know at least more than 5,000 families are getting direct benefit out of temple. Just a small temple. I'm not talking about Kashi, Varanasi, or Ayodhya, or Tirupati. If you go to Tirupati, Kashi, Varanasi, Jammu, that is different scenario. Likewise, I have studied in Basara. How Basara is being created impact on the livelihoods of the Basara village. Anybody knows Basara without temple? Nobody knows. Basara known by temple, Ma Saraswati. So, because of Ma Saraswati, that village is getting livelihood and the village is getting revenue. If you keep temple away from the village revenue, then village is nothing. Village will have, like other villages, poverty and all, because the kind of policies we have adopted so far is the result poverty, corruption and all of the result of this kind of policies which we have adopted. But the temples maintain the sustainability of Indian economy. And the fourth one is revival of economy of the states. Most of the people believe that the model of economy means Kerala model. My friends are there from Kerala. If you look at the Kerala model, you just ask if anybody says Kerala model of economy, what is Kerala model of economy? Is there an improvement in agriculture? Is there an improvement in industry? Is there an improvement in tourism? Is there an improvement in service sector? Is there an improvement in employment? Then what is Kerala model? If you ask these questions, answer will be no. But what is Kerala model? Kerala model is nothing but narration. They will say the livelihoods, or they will say the health conditions. Health conditions are because of the family system. It is not because of the government. The Ayurveda and the way they followed the traditional food and medicines are because of the families. Nothing from the government. But the government collapsed Kerala's existing economic system. Actually, nothing is Kerala model. If I am wrong, please excuse me, both the professors are from Kerala. So Kerala model is negative growth rate of agriculture, negative growth rate of industry, negative growth rate of service sector, full of migration, no youngster lives in Kerala, no educated person lives in Kerala, only old persons lives in Kerala, and for them ghost tax will be there. Just recently, government of Kerala has thinking to impose ghost tax, means those who have vacated house, means unoccupied house, have to pay the tax because it is burden to somebody else. Like in Uttarakhand, Congress government wants to put toilet tax. In the same way, Kerala government also want to put ghost tax. So, Kerala model of economy is nothing. That's what Priyeshji brought out in his article, in this book. Likewise, remaining other states also. Every state has their own strength. Like Telangana has also its own strength in handloom activities, handloom clusters. Handloom clusters have to be revived for the sustainability of the livelihood as well as the economy. So, like this, most of the aspects of the economy have been covered in this book. So, I request everybody to go through. And economy is not just talking about the livelihoods, it is the integration of dharma, culture, and that is also brought out in this book. As we have the ancient welfare economic sutra, that is Sarve bhavantu sukinaha, sarve santu niramaya, sarve bhadrani pashyantu ma kashchit dukkha badhave. Welfare economics we teach in economic theories, but the sloka, it is there from the Vedas time, means the economic basic concept is making everybody happy, sukhina, and free from all kinds of diseases, and everyone should enjoy their life. This is what all about the life. So that is what all about the economy. And with this aim, this book also has been brought out. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you, Dr. Lingamurthy Garu. We had a few minutes of very interesting and enlightening lectures, and I personally have benefited. I'm sure many of you also have benefited. My takeaway from both the talks is that both the speakers emphasized how we can live with God. Modernism, the modern age, ushered mankind into a period in which man learned to live with machines. Now, with the onset of the AI technology, 3D printing, increasingly machines will learn to run themselves, and man will be only kind of a stepney. And so technology is going to force us back into times where we will have to return to live with God. And if we can combine that with the wisdom to live with nature, then we will survive as mankind and civilization. A few words about Samvit Kendra, of which I am the president. This is a research-oriented organization. We conduct samvadas, we publish books, we network intellectuals. We also run some study circles where regular interchange of ideas takes place. I am very thankful to all of you for having taken the trouble joining us and making this function a success.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your concluding remarks. Post the concluding remarks, I'd like to give a brief introduction about Rahul Shastriji. He needs no introduction, but just for the formality sake, I'm doing it. Dr. Rahul Shastriji is a gold medalist in MA, and he is a PhD from Osmania University. He's an author, and he is retired faculty, Department of Economics, Osmania University. Currently, as he mentioned, he is the president of Samvit Kendra and secretary NAD Hyderabad. He has published 27 research papers and articles in different areas in economics, and also authored several books like From Marx to the Mother, The Great Leap Forward, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar on Nationalism and Islam, Dr. Hegdewar, Seer, Patriot and National Builder, Denying National Roots, Liberation Struggle of Hyderabad. And sir, you have chaired this session wonderfully. Thank you, sir. I'd like to just give one concluding remark. I could always, I hear elders saying bhukti and mukti are intertwined. But how they are intertwined has been, presented with very wonderful examples by both the speakers. Thank you, sir. And the session is open for question and answer. Sir, with your permission, can we? Yes. Question and answers, please throw the questions at both the speakers. And thank you.
Very good morning to all of you. A wonderful session. Thank you for illuminating us with a different perspective. I have a small, not a query, a kind of an observation to Shri Sandeep Singh sir. And the very cornerstone of this both presentation is how our culture, our temple is a corner block, okay, fundamental to our development. Yeah, I'll do that. Yeah, role of temple in our economic development. And we know that my question is this: Are our temples are free to function? Are the temples are under government control? And after independence, I can understand colonial period, they will do all the things to control the temple. We got independence 75 years are over. Did the government allow our temples to function freely? At least last 10 years, we thought that there is some kind of a forward movement in this direction, whereas the devotees will run the temple. And unfortunately, I am coming from south, from Kerala. It is the Marxist government which is running the temple. Okay, who doesn't believe in God, or who say that religion is opium, okay, running a temple. Whereas in Tamil Nadu, the Dravidian movement, which is anti-Hindu, we can say that they are running the temple. Okay, now what stops government to give these temples to devotees, okay, who can understand, who can run this institution for the sake of the devotees, so that whatever you said about the role of the temple can flourish and can do their job well. Unfortunately, I don't know. I know that many efforts are being made, but substantially nothing has not happened on the ground. While saying that, we also need to run the temples in a very professional manner. Historically, our Rajas who were running these temples were totally committed to the temples. They've never taken anything from the table. Rather, the Travancore temple who ran the state, okay, as Padmanabha Dasas, surrendering, giving everything to Lord. So we need a kind of a temple administration which is very transparent, efficient, and which is not exploitative. So my question is okay, can we give these temples to devotees to run it? And what kind of a temple administration as our devotees should evolve, so the very function of the temple as a cornerstone of our development process can happen that. I am Sharad Chandran, I am a faculty member from Goa University. It was a very illuminating perspective you gave, sir. Okay, how a temple, okay, the activities around the temple has so many kind of a multiplier effect, and that transcend to various aspects of a very interesting and illuminating presentation to both of you. Thank you very much.
Thank you for the kind words. Must subscribe my book for your library. You asked three things. One was that what is stopping government from giving it back to the mandir? I think it's the devotees who are stopping government from giving it back to the mandir, because I don't see enough Hindu on the road, on the streets, to ask the mandir back. We live in Kali Yuga, and the street power decides the government policies. You know, so the Kerala, I don't think enough Hindu, or even Tamil Nadu, we wonder as the rest of India that why so many Hindus don't speak up against the kind of statements come. Forget about taking back the mandir. So one is that I definitely believe that we Hindus are not speaking enough, loud enough, so that government can hear and fear us to give the mandir back. The second question comes is that, argument by the government and many people is that if we'll give back the mandir, who will run it? So my one first answer is that this government is 75-year-old only. Our mandirs are 1,000 years old. Who was running them before that? And they've seen the worst kind of invaders, Portuguese, Islamic, Christian, British. They've survived. They survived because of the common man. The society will take over. And we have enormous number of instances I've cited in my book. Few years back, there was a mandir in trust in Jharkhand was creating a problem. People threw them out lock, stock and barrel, managing it. And there are enough number of temples. You know, there's a very interesting, how did the government got into the mandir? It is we Hindus who went to the British asking them to intervene our inner fight, because that guy is making more money, I'm not getting chance to make money. And once, you know, that you all have read Two Cats Went to Monkey with a Roti, and the government is doing its monkey job, balancing it. So it's we who are at the fault. And the second question is that if we go out, who will manage it again? So they were just testing running spirit. So the British used to say that if you leave this country, who will run it? The country is running perfectly much better. So, you know, we need to go back and tell the government sometime in straight words that we are better. All the government departments are corrupt, so should we take over all of them? And one thing we also need to be clear that the temples, mandirs are in the control of state government. Central government will have a very limited role in it. That's some part we have to understand. And as I said, the basic question that you said, start visiting the mandir every day. If your locality will start visiting the mandir, slowly you will start recognizing what's the problem with it. You will develop that affinity towards it. And mandir has to do a lot of things, you know. Like there are a lot of poor kids who will find living around the mandir. Just giving a small example, is that do we celebrate their birthdays in the mandir, and why not? If you look at different mandirs have different form of Bhagwan. Some form they are a bal, you know, small form as a kid, the God. So God talks to us in all forms, and why should we restrict? And that is maybe one of the reasons when I see that when a mandir is being broken, people living around look at it quietly and walk away, because they don't feel they belong to it. Because mandir has also never made them feel that they belong to them. I'll give an example. One day I landed up in a mall at 9:30. My specs were broken. I was in a hurry to get it repaired. It was still not open yet. And there was a lady sitting there. I overheard talking to somebody on her mobile. And it was quite a heart-wrenching conversation of what I overheard. She had left husband's house in the night. She had some problem. She didn't want to go back to the parents' house. So she has spent whole night sitting in front of the mall because there was a light and a watchman. What a shame that she couldn't think of going to the mandir. The first stop traditionally, and if you watch even movies till 1970s, anyone had a problem in a house, he or she will land up at the mandir, and the mandir's pujari will take care. Where did we lose it? Are we not responsible for it? Whom to blame? It's we, our ancestors, we collectively have to revive it. So as a society, community falls because every aspect of a society falls down. It revives when everybody revives. And that's where my answer came, is that let's start visiting the mandir. This is a small thing, but has a huge repercussion. You don't need to write huge policy papers, you know, or coming out with jargons. Start visiting the mandir, start visiting it every day. Situation will improve. You will have affinity. They will realize that if you touch a brick in this mandir, there will be 1 lakh people standing for it. And the last point on this is that there are 2 theories how we got independence. One school says because of Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi's method, they can follow what they are following today. The second set of people believe we got the freedom because of the methods of V.O. Chidambaram Pillai or Subhash Chandra Bose or Bhagat Singh. That we might have to adopt that method to free our mandirs from the government. Thank you.
Just to add to Sandeepji's answer, actually mandirs are not only limited to our Bhakti Kendras. Mandirs have played vital economic roles. Till 14th century, particularly southern part of Bharat, the trade which was happened from the 1st century to 14th century, the trade pattern and entire trade was funded by temples. I'll name two temples. The first one is Aihole temple in Karnataka, Bagalkoti district, and the second one is Manigramam near Madurai. These temples used to fund entire trade from South India. And through trade, our culture and our dharma has prevailed throughout the world. Means temples not only limited to our Bhakti Kendras, they have played vital role of human development or holistic development of human beings, societies. Thank you.
My question is very simple and straight. Myself, Ramu Palsa, I belongs to Surabaya district. And my question is that nowadays we are seeing that the many Christians and the churches are following our tradition, that they don't have the Gopras and the Dwajastambham and all. And they are following that. Along with that, they are even using that coconut and all. So as for our knowledge and tradition, so this is our, as it's a completely economic form. So I am saying that why, how they are following that, breaking that coconut and all. And they are almost following in some of the churches. They are building churches. It is as like a temple, as like a mandir. So how it is going to affect our economy? Are they scratching? Are they taking away our economy from Hindus?
The culture appropriation
Yes,
is the word
yes,
for that.
yes.
Yeah. So as I said, for the sari and for other things, yes, they are appropriating it. And in my book, I write it very simple. The solution is very simple. As a society, we need to be more open to ghar vapsi and what you call conversion. And we simply need to declare them Hindu because they have followed all Hindu practices. If you've adopted it, you might as well be Hindu. If you follow Gerua, you have got Mandir. It's our